Here is the new track. This is unfortunate. This is not pretty.
Hurricane force winds blew through Daytona Beach and parts of Volusia County.
As it pulls away from the Bahamas and moves toward the coastline of Central Florida, there's that very warm water in place.
We're going to get the rain. We're going to get the wind.
Hurricane Francis is really pounding the coastline.
This is not the place to be right now.
As you can see, it's very gusty out here.
We're expecting landfall with winds around 110 miles per hour.
As you can see, the winds are really starting to pick up. We're getting gusts of about 30 miles an hour now.
It looks like we're getting in another band of wind and rain.
We've had some effects from this storm for days now.
That's a tree. That's the frog from the tree. Oh my God, this storm's going too.
Well, there it goes. Whoa!
By tomorrow morning, people will have lost their homes and everything they own.
Never thought this would happen to me. Thought this happens to other people.
Hello, I'm Scott Harris. Thank you for joining us for Heart of the Storm, a season to remember. I'm in Claremont in South Lake County. You can see the Florida Citrus Tower on the next hill over. From out here, you have a clear view of much of Central Florida.
We're going to have trees down. We are going to have flooding. We're going to have power knocked out. No matter how good the power companies are, it's going to happen.
Well, it does look like Charlie has now begun to make that much anticipated turn to the north-northeast, and it's actually accelerated.
The government is doing what government's supposed to do, which is putting into play all the preparedness activities that we have drilled on.
Central Orange County, northwestern and southwestern Orange County need to be paying close attention to your TV station for the up-to-date information on this storm.
This storm is now up to Category 3. It's a 125 mile per hour maximum sustained wind storm. It is going to pack a very serious punch. We've of course been telling you that for a day or two now. Folks need to have their action plan in place. Speak to your loved ones. Charge your cell phones. Fill the bathtub up with water.
But this is just the beginning of what we're going to be dealing with throughout the day.
According to the Associated Press, officials have upgraded Charlie to a Category 4 storm with winds at 145 miles per hour.
This is our first tornado warning of the day.
It's coming up the Florida Peninsula. The impact on Central Florida is going to be significant.
It is 2 o'clock. It is time for those of you who have not had a chance to leave work, or if your loved ones have not left work, I think it is time for those of us in Central Florida who are not going to be doing emergency duty to hunker down, to get ready, because from here on out the weather is just going to get worse.
Here is the new track. This is unfortunate. This is not pretty. No one likes this. I think this is the first time we're going to see this graphically for anyone. And everyone in the building who's not looking, we need to look at this because we have a 115 mile per hour hurricane tonight making its way down into Polk County and then tracking right across western parts of Osceola County, right on up into Orange County, across Seminole County, and to Volusia County. So,
We have I-4 hurricane.
We have an I-4 hurricane.
Orange County EOC just issuing a mandatory evacuation for mobile homes and low-lying areas.
This is from the Hurricane Center in Miami. This is their expectation. This is no joke. It's not fooling around. Could it be a Donna? Absolutely.
This is what happens when a hurricane gets within 100 or so miles away, and it is still roughly that far away.
When you see this big bam shift to the right, is this unusual? Not at all.
All the primary evacuation shelters in Brevard County are now open.
941 millibars would make it number 15 on the Hurricane Center's list of the most intense hurricanes.
Hurricane force winds blew through Daytona Beach and parts of Volusia County, and they wreaked havoc in places like Deltona.
It was a heavy night in Central Florida, that many of us will never forget.
It's trees down and power out.
Power
that
out.
seems to be pretty much everywhere.
At first it was exciting. It was almost like, hey, this is going to be an adventure, something I've always wanted to do. But as the winds began to progressively get stronger and stronger, and they maintained that intensity for such a long period of time, it actually kind of created a sense of dread, in that the realization sunk in quickly the type of damage that was probably going on around Central Florida. And it became quite frightening, not necessarily for my own safety, the safety of my photographer, but for the fact that we realized there was serious damage going on around Central Florida.
I asked if they were for FEMA. They said, no, we're just volunteers.
Gladys Collins sits on her front porch swing, watching with heroes worship in her eyes. These volunteers from a hands-on Orlando strike team moved in and got down to work.
We're lucky. We're actually lucky. Now everybody can say, I've been through a hurricane and I am impressed and I know what it can do, and I've seen my neighbor's roof taken off. I've had my roof taken off. I've lost all my trees. Now we know. Now people will be prepared. Now this will only last for about 10 years. And then everybody will be lulled back into a sense of security again. And more people will move here. And more children will be born. And the population will change. And those of us who now are the old weather experts and pros, and we've been through it, can now pass on that wise bit of knowledge of, hey, you really need to take this serious.
2004 season, to me, sometimes I still can't believe that we actually went through all that we went through. And I remember saying to a friend after Charlie, oh, well, I can schedule my vacation now because the big one's already come. So surely we're not going to see another one. Then, of course, 2 weeks later, Francis came. So I think that it taught us that really just because one big storm comes doesn't mean that a couple more can't come. And so we need to always be prepared.
I think people's awareness was raised during the season itself. We had, of course, Charlie come through and then Francis. And by the time we got to Gene, I think everybody was, thinking, hey, this can happen. And even through the rest of the season. And I think we'll probably start, the 2005 hurricane season the same way. But just like the tornado outbreaks that we had in 1998, you go a period without any activity and the interest begins to fall off until another event happens. And hopefully that won't be the case. Hopefully people will just continue to be aware, because it can happen. I mean, we can't come out and say 2005 is going to be a very active season. It's just hard to tell. But hopefully the awareness is there, and we don't have anything else to worry about than just keeping people safe.
What stood out for me most among all the hurricanes was how slowly Francis moved compared to the other two. I remember when Francis first came ashore, I was sitting right here and I did some quick back of the envelope calculations looking at the speed to figure out how long it was going to take Francis to completely clear out, and my heart just sank as I realized we would be in for this for days and days. And when I shouted out the number I came up with, the people around me just gasped because we knew we'd be in for a long, grueling, battering couple of days.